And that's the angle. Joining me now for reaction are two men who attended the White House Correspondents Association dinner. From New York is Juan Williams, a co-host of Fox News' The Five, and with me here in studio is Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. Matt was here when my prompter went down. Matt, I was like, look,
good.
No, but
good at
but
this.
Matt, the thing that's amazing is people might not have noticed it, but I was starting to watch, and I think it was, I don't know what show it was on. Was that like Jeopardy? What was on my screen? It was like Jeopardy. I was like, okay, I guess I'm playing Jeopardy now.
I wasn't breathing, so I thought you did great.
I have to ask it in a question form. I was like, suddenly I was watching Jeopardy. But Matt, you did walk out, and I didn't even turn the dinner on. I was with friends and my kids. And I didn't even turn the dinner on. I started getting messages, ding, 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 and two of my producers went. And they walked out. I think they walked out about the same time you did.
Right.
They were sitting, you were right near the front. They were sitting kind of on the side. They walked out, and they were shocked. This was the first dinner they attended.
Can you imagine you're sitting there at this dinner where the president has decided not to go, and you think the press is going to get it right. They're going to look like they have the upper hand, that they have grace. And instead, they go from the swamp to the gutter and start making jokes about abortion. That was the first moment when my wife and I, we looked at each other and said, what are we this? Why are we here? And then the pummeling of Kellyanne Conway and Sarah Sanders, who are my wife's colleagues,
right.
She was just like, this is it. We got to get out of here. I'm not the type of person to walk out of anything. But there comes a point when you just have to say, we don't have to put up with this crap.
I hate to do this to our viewers because we might have lost every one of them playing all those sound bites from Michelle Wolf. We had to do a lot of bleeps. However, we must play this for Juan Williams. Juan, this is what Wolf said about Kellyanne and Ivanka. Let's watch.
Sure.
We should definitely talk about the women in the Trump administration. There's Kellyanne Conway. Man, she has the perfect last name for what she does. Conway. You guys gotta stop putting Kellyanne on your shows. All she does is lie. If you don't give her a platform, she has nowhere to lie. It's like that old saying, if a tree falls in the woods, how do we get Kellyanne under that tree? I'm not suggesting she gets hurt, just stuck. There's also, of course, Ivanka. She's the diaper genie of the administration. On the outside, she looks sleek, but the inside, it's still full of
Juan, this is the Me Too movement era. We're all for strong, independent women, women who speak their minds, except if they're conservative. I know you thought this was hilarious. You praised this. You thought it was great. Tell me why that, in your worldview, is funny.
Well, I didn't think the stuff with Sarah Huckabee Sanders was funny because Sarah was seated right there, Laura, and I thought it made everybody in the room uncomfortable. Matt can tell you, I think everybody visibly was like worried that Sarah might cry or get up and walk out and, you know, just make for a huge furor at a time when, you know, that just was unnecessary because it had a sense of she was kind of on the hot seat while the camera was on her. But in general, you know, I don't understand that you see this as evidence of liberal media bias. I mean, when President Trump says horrible things about a conservative like the attractiveness of Carly Fiorina or Heidi Cruz, I don't see that people say, oh, that's evidence of right-wing bias against women because, I mean, he won the nomination even after he said those things. And in fact, when you look at the comments that came from Michelle Wolf, a lot of them were darts right at the media saying, you know what, you guys are profiting from Trump. You guys make money off of Trump.
Oh, no,
and you never thank him. You should share the money with Trump.
That's a cute criticism. However, what she was doing, Juan, was she was saying, you need to be harder on Trump. So that was more evidence of her bias. She wasn't going at, no, hold on. She was not criticizing the hosts on MSNBC for being slavishly left-wing. She was saying they weren't being left-wing enough with her criticism. That's why it was a problem.
You missed something. You missed something because she said specifically about CNN, all you guys cover is Trump, Russia, scandal. as if that's the entirety of everything that's going on in the world.
That was a passing blow.
Oh,
that was
so
a passing
wait
blow.
a second,
That
wait a second. So I say I make a point and it's a passing blow.
We're
That's
talking
great.
about personal invective.
That's what I'm saying. What did Trump do to Heidi Cruz? What did Trump do to Carly Fiorina?
We're not talking about Trump. We're talking about the press corps, which is supposed to be objective. They are supposed to be objective, and they've invited an entertainer on, and they're going to be giving as good as they get. That's fine.
Yep.
There was not the same type of treatment. It was the kind of the same type of treatment they gave Obama, which was cute jokes, and they were fun. The jokes at the entertainers, they were joking about his
You're
a little
kidding,
bit on
right?
the size
Because
of his
as I
ears
recall,
and his gray hair.
Larry Wilmore was using the N-word.
What happens is when Republicans get the White House at this dinner, they make fun of Republicans. And when Democrats get the White House at this, they make fun of Republicans and conservatives. And that's just the way it goes. And I think what the American people saw last night is exactly why they hate the D.C. liberal media elite. That's why they hate them.
This is why their approval rating is like half of what Trump's is.
We remember the deplorable moment. And what the National Press Corps, the White House Press Corps just said is, because we support Trump, everything about us is deplorable, and it's fair game because we support the president.
No big shock. Brian Stelter on CNN thought this was groovy. Let's watch.
Why do y'all care what a young comedian said? The president has changed all these.
She's joking. He's actually telling the truth. You know, he's telling his truth when he says these
she wasn't talking about Michelle. She wasn't talking about Sarah Sanders' looks. Michelle's wolf argument is I was talking about her, quote, despicable behavior.
Yeah.
That, everything's upside down. And frankly, comedy's supposed to be uncomfortable. And maybe it's a good thing people in that room were uncomfortable.
Well, you know what I thought was uncomfortable is reading some of Michelle Wolf's tweets that she deleted. One of them comparing Serena Williams to looking like a man, looking like LeBron James, I guess, which was wild. Other things she said about Eric Trump, that he's an abortion, that Trump must be pro-abortion, pro-choice, because Eric Trump's like she actually tweeted that, and she deleted thousands of her tweets, apparently last June, according to the reporting today. So these White House correspondents, folks, they don't even know how to vet their own people.
But Laura, Laura, I just want to do a little history for you, because you forget that Imus came on. He was the comedian during the Clinton era, so this is with a Democrat, and right in front of Clinton and his wife, started talking about extramarital affairs and making very tawdry jokes. That's a Democrat. And you say the press is so liberal. I'm just telling you. You say, oh, Larry Wilmore. Okay, Larry Wilmore. I think his use of the word in front of Obama, I found it offensive.
That was just stupid.
And you know what?
That was stupid.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you, but that contradicts what you're saying.
There's a big difference.
That's one example.
There's a big difference between what happened last night and what happened at these previous dinners. And the big difference was Sarah Huckabee Sanders is sitting there as a staffer. And that was a moment for the press corps to do the right thing, to treat her with respect for coming there and being in a very difficult position. And instead, they bullied her, they went after her, they tried to mock her. And the American people watched, and guess what? It was probably a good night for the conservative movement, but I still think it's a disgusting display of the press being biased.
Well, I just think people are looking sort of to manufacture anger and indignation at this moment on the right, because they're saying, oh, this is an opportunity to feed the grievance industry.
Yeah, well, now, Juan, when you make fun of an abortion.
I didn't like that, but I'm just telling you, there's something.
That's it. That's it. When you do that, when you're capable of that, you lose it. That's like ridiculing people's faith.
Laura, let me just tell you, she went after Ted Kennedy for Chappaquiddick and murder.
Oh, that's original. All right, gentlemen, thanks so much. Something else we want to look at: why journalists thought this was a laugh riot. Coming up.
It's 2018, and I'm